Right here is one of my Northland blueberry bushes, and you can see she is loaded down. Now the other night in one of my chats, I had someone ask me about using vinegar in their soil to lower the pH of their blueberry bush. Now that's something that I don't do. Now I know that vinegar is acidic, which is acetic acid. It lowers the pH of your water, but when it comes to lowering the pH of your blueberry bush, it's a ghost fix. So I'm going to show you some ways, and we're going to compare the two. I'm going to let you see for yourself why I personally will not use vinegar water on my blueberry bushes. Now I'm going to take you over here and show you some of my potted blueberry bushes, because you guys been asking me questions about how to grow in pots, and that's something that I say I was going to dedicate to you this year, this season. So we're going to go over, we're going to look at our blueberry bushes that are in pots, and we're going to show you some ways to avoid using that ghost fix. Now here is my grow tunnel that I use to grow my blueberries in pots to keep the birds from eating all the berries. Now this is the 100% for sure way to keep all your berries. You're gonna get 100% of your harvest when you net like this. We have our cinder block mesh right here. You can find this at Home Depots or Lowe's, probably about $4 or $5 right now for each one. And I basically just drape this across the whole thing. They're 10 feet wide. And the netting that I order is 10 feet wide as well. Goes right down, taps onto the soil. Perfect fix for keeping those blueberries safe. Now all of these are in my same 50% peat moss, 25% compost, 25% mini pine bark nuggets, and I do a 1/4 cup of that cottonseed meal. Each one of these are in that same mix, so there's no difference than what I'm doing in my large 48-inch corrugated planters. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take up some of our clips here, and we're going to give you a close-up look at some of our blueberries growing in pots. I have these little Harbor Freight clips that I get, and I snap those down on there, and that holds that down. When I get ready to get in it to fertilize, I just go down and pick that up. So this is what I really like about this whole thing. I mean, it makes it real simple to be able to access those berries when you need to get in. And I just come down, loosen up this end here, and then it just rolls up, almost like a little trap door, so to speak. And then to keep it from getting away from me with the wind, just lock those clips up top. So now we got full access to the blueberries. Now I watered all my blueberry bushes this morning. Got my pH meter out here. I'm going to show you how simple this is. It's just rinsing off my pH meter. But we're going to fill this bucket up and let you see what my tap water is. Okay, so that's a 1 gallon container there. My tap water averages about a 7.4 to 8.5, depending on the ambient temperatures outside. Your pH is going to change based upon the temperature as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what my tap water is. 7.5 there. So that's going to be average for this time of the morning. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning. So we're topping at about a 7.5. That's my tap water. So what we're going to do is we're going to rinse that off. So the main point of this right here, are we talking about our buffering capacity. Each one of these blueberry bushes are set to a 4.5 all the way to a 5.5. That's what the range of the soil is going to be. Don't matter what it is that you pour into that, it's going to buffer that. In other words, block out any changes which would raise the pH. So this is what happens when you're growing in the incorrect soil medium. All you have to do, the simple fix, 50% peat moss, 25% mini pine bark nuggets, and 25% compost. Add a 1/4 cup of that cottonseed meal in there, and you don't have to worry about what your pH is. You can just water your plants with your municipal water, and it's going to be just fine. But for those who insist on using vinegar water as a solution, I'm here to show you exactly why that's not the best option. What we have here in our soil mix we have Ericoid mycorrhiza fungi. Now that Ericoid mycorrhiza fungi is what feeds your blueberry bush. If your blueberry bush cannot access that fungi, then it loses its ability to feed itself. Every time we water with that vinegar water, you destroy the mycorrhiza fungi, that Ericoid mycorrhiza fungi. So yes, it does lower the pH of the soil. And what happens is the microbes that are in your soil, they're going to stop trying to feed your blueberry bush, and they're going to go to the food source, which is the acidic acid in that vinegar water that you're going to be putting in. So in that window, 24 hours to 48 hours, your soil pH will drop because the soil is moist. Your microbes in your soil are going to be breaking down that acetic acid instead of feeding your blueberry bush. We're right now at a 5.5 on our pH meter here. We're going to tap it into our water again just to raise that pH. Let you see what that does. It's already at a 7.2. And then we're going to go down to our soil and check our soil. Water with the pH, that's a 7.4. I'm going to let you see how that works. With that same tap water, and look at what the pH is. It's a 4.3 right now. That's the buffering capacity of this mix that I'm trying to get you guys to go to. So using that vinegar water is exactly what I say. It's a ghost fix. It'll drop your pH only for as long as your soil is moist. And in that short period of time, your blueberry bush is going to be starving because the microbes that are there to feed it are going to be breaking down the acetic acid in that vinegar water as opposed to feeding your plants. Now, if you choose to continue to use the vinegar water on your blueberry bushes after seeing this, that's your option. But I'm going to show you a better way. And again, I guarantee you already have this in your toolbox right there in your garden. Here you have some distilled white vinegar or fish emulsion. This is your answer right here. 511 fish emulsion. Let's talk about the vinegar water. What nutrient values do this bring to your blueberry bush? Absolutely nothing. What this does is it lowers the pH of the liquid that's going into your soil. Any other time, the acetic acid that's in this vinegar water, the microbes in your soil are going to be trying to break that down instead of feeding your blueberry bush. So that's the negative to using the vinegar water on your soil. It's a very temporary ghost fix. Now let's talk about fish emulsion, 511. And I'm not sponsoring this, I'm just giving you guys a tip so you can stop wasting your time on these ghost fix that people are offering you on the internet, simply saying it's a quick fix. 5% nitrogen, 1% phosphorus, and 1% potassium. That's what your blueberry bush is going to love. And not only that, you're talking about the amino acids that's in this, your blueberry bush is going to love. The microbes in your soil are going to love this. And while they're feeding on this, breaking it down, this has an immediate uptake to your blueberry bush. So you're fixing all of those things that are wrong with your soil, except your soil. I make my own fish hydrolysis, but I know the average person does not make their own fish hydrolysate. So I'm going to show you how to use this fish emulsion in the same way that I use my DIY fish hydrolysis, and you're going to get the same results. Now, this is not about being right or wrong, but what it is about is making sure that you give your blueberry bush what it needs, when it needs, in a timely fashion. So we're going to take 1 tablespoon of our distilled white vinegar, and we're going to just do a comparisons. And we're going to fill that up with our tap water, and we're going to see what the pH is of that. And then we're going to fill this bucket up. We're going to put our vinegar back over here so we'll know which is which. This is our vinegar side, and this here is our fish emulsion side. And we're going to take, same thing, 1 tablespoon of our fish emulsion. So a lot of times you guys have been using this in your garden and you didn't even realize that this stuff is extremely acidic. So we're just gonna mix that in. Get that mixed in because it's still on our spoon there. And what we're gonna do here is simply just compare the pH drop from the time that we've been sitting here, and letting you see that there is absolutely no advantage to using that vinegar water. There's just no advantage to it. Not when you have something like this on hand. Rinse that off. I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make that homemade fish hydrolysis so you don't even have to purchase the fish emulsion. We're gonna rinse off our pH meter. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go over to our vinegar water first. Test the pH. Now that's 1 tablespoon of our vinegar water to this 1 gallon, and we drop down to a 4.0, 3.9. So that's extremely acidic. And I tell you guys, if you want to grow blueberries successfully, a pH meter is a must. I'll rinse that off, which is going to raise the pH again. And lets us know that we've gotten rid of the vinegar sediment. And now we're going to go over to our fish emulsion and see what the pH is. All the way down to that 4.4. Our vinegar water is slightly more acidic than our 511, but our 511 has something that the vinegar water does not, and that's nutrients. This has absolutely no nutrients in it. This has, again, 5% nitrogen, 1% phosphorus, 1% potassium, and then you have your amino acids as well as the organic matter that's in here that's going to help keep that pH low. This, within 24 to 48 hours, is gone. No chance of feeding your blueberry bush. What's going to happen is, again, when you are feeding this to your blueberry bush, the microbes in your soil are no longer going to be focused on your blueberry bush because they're going to be focused on the acetic acid in this vinegar water. While they're focused on feeding on the acetic acid in this vinegar water, they're not going to be feeding your plant. So that is why this is a ghost fix. Your blueberry bush is left on its own to fend for itself. With this right here, you're also bringing the pH down in your soil, and you're feeding your blueberry bush the soluble nutrients that are in this right away. Vinegar water or 511. Now what I try to share with you guys is best practices, not a right or a wrong way, because in order for me to know what that acetic acid does to the blueberry bush, I had to have tried it. And by me trying that, I realized that that was not the fix. That's just a temporary ghost window that you're gonna have to allow that blueberry bush to feed for maybe 24 to 48 hours at best. The fish emulsion, which I am not sponsoring, this is the fix. This gets that plant bubbling. You see those vibrant green colors on there? This is what keeps my blueberries going all season long. Again, I'm going to show you guys how to make your own fish hydrolysis. Once you learn how to make that fish hydrolysis, you can take the fish emulsion out of the equation. So now what we're going to do is we're going to simply take our fish emulsion water here. And we're going to go ahead and water those blueberry bushes in. And she's going to perk up just like everything else in your garden right after a little good drink of this fish emulsions. So what we're doing over here, we're growing out the box.